The first time I had gimbap was probably 4 years ago, maybe 5. So I had a really, really good Korean friend. His mother visited Canada, and I don't know how. I really, really don't know how. And this is like, I don't think this is legal, but she ended up bringing all the way from South Korea 6 cabbages of kimchi. And they were like super wrapped. They were like super duper wrapped. I just want to emphasize there were 6 cabbages, okay, in that luggage. Until this day, I'm still thinking, how the heck did she do that? She was really, really good at Korean cuisines. And every time we met up, get to experience her wonderful cuisines. I love Korean food so much. Korean food is so freaking flavorful. Please correct me if I'm wrong. A lot of the reasons as to why it is so flavorful was because during the time in war, people didn't have a lot of like food. So their idea to salvage food for as long as possible was just to like salt everything. You know those side dishes that you receive in restaurants? Usually they're like super, super salty and stuff. And you know, even kimchi is like super salty and just very flavorful. It's not just salty, but there's a lot of like fermentation going on. So a lot of their foods are fermented foods. They got something so wonderfully evolved from a shitty place, you know? War is pretty shitty. Has anyone here tried the army soup? It's basically like kimchi soup, I guess. But then they add a bunch of shit. So they add like noodles, they add like tteokbokki, and they sometimes add spam and some sort of sausage as well. They really like spam. And sometimes they add cheese too, and they just add a bunch of stuff, and tofu too. So apparently it's called army soup because I think, please again correct me if I'm wrong, back in the day, in the war days, they would just like add a bunch of ingredients into like a pot of like kimchi or whatever, maybe. I'm not too sure if it's kimchi, but they would just like add anything into a big pot, boil it, and eat it like that. So that's kind of where it came from, I guess. I'm not too sure if like they had kimchi originally in the military, but you know, the concept of just putting everything into a big bowl and just eating it there probably derived from war. They're really simple to make. Like, it's just rice, and they're simple for a reason, because this was created back in the day where people didn't have a lot of food, and you know, they didn't have much nutrients, and they were living very harsh times. So they had to figure out something quick to make, figure out something that would fill them. So there wasn't much time to live so luxuriously, is what I mean. Like, if you ever go into a restaurant that's like, we make the best gimbap, we use the golden eggs from the mountains, I mean, I'm pretty sure it would taste really, really good. But the thing is that it's just missing that sort of, I don't know, that comfortness. If they're trying to upsell it to make it something that is way too extravagant, it just feels a little bit off sometimes. Not saying that it'll taste bad, it just probably be a little different. And that's fine too. But I think the best thing sometimes is just to have it be made by a mom. And it's also cheaper too. Like, imagine buying gimbap and it costs like $30. I'm gonna be honest, no matter how good it is, I'd be pretty reluctant to try it, because I know I would probably enjoy it just as much if I just went to my local Korean restaurant owned by a mother who's made gimbap for like 20 years. Food in South Korea is so inexpensive. They give you like this bowl of, okay, so it's like this big, okay? Let me show you guys. Hold on, let me show you guys the gimbap too. Gimbap. Oh my god, it's heavy. Okay, so imagine the circumference of this plate, okay? It's that big. That entire bowl of noodles was like $4 or $5, like Canadian dollars or something. When I went to Japan, everything was so damn expensive, so I thought Korea would be the same. Yeah, I know! Japan is so expensive! And then so when I went to Korea, I was like, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready for my wallet to cry. Oh my fucking god, like, things in South Korea are so inexpensive. It's insane. And, you know, the quality is, like, really good still. So I was like, what the heck? It's amazing! What the heck? Yeah, I mean, compared to Japan, it's cheaper compared to Japan.